All right, let's see here. So far so good on the YouTube chat, so we'll keep that rolling as long as we can. Opens. Keep an eye on it. All right. Shuffle these around over here. And we're jumping right in. All right, I do have, as you can see, anybody who's watching this, I do have the face camera back on, this camera with me here. We were having some issues with it being a bit stuttery yesterday, in particular with, oh my goodness, conjunction with the Raspberry Pi, which we are just spamming the keyboard on, so let's not do that. If it does become stuttery or whatever, then I'll cut out the face camera again. I feel like I don't really add that much to what's going on. The majority of the action is on the screen anyway. But I mean, a lot of folks who stream set it up to where you can see them, and it does make it feel more personable and things like that. So we'll try it. We'll keep it how it is. If we have trouble with it, we'll change it up. It's kind of how we do it. And I am working on Raspberry Pi stuff again today. We are circling back to look into this other sensor. So to catch anybody up, if you don't know what's going on, if you haven't watched the streams of the last couple of days, day or two, I should say, then you may not know what's going on. Basically, I was working on a Raspberry Pi weather station thing, weather station server that will hold some data and have a nice, pretty dashboard, hopefully. But we first started trying to use this sensor SI7021 with it. It was not working. We were getting this error about the register not having the right value. How's it going, DJ Devin? Let me kill one more preview here that I don't need, and then put the I'm like off the edge here. I'm gonna scoot back ever so slightly this way. But then we are gonna kill this preview up behind. See these on top. Okay. We ran into this error. It was raising an exception, basically indicating like it tried to read a register and it didn't have the value that it expected. I looked into the data sheet, data booklet, packet, instruction manual. Truthfully, data sheets, on chips like this are a bit over my head. We didn't really discover too much from the data sheet, honestly. I don't quite have the experience reading data sheets yet, right? There's so much information here. I find it overwhelming and difficult to know what anything in here means. But we've had some other very nice folks who have looked through the data sheet and found some stuff that seems of interest. I have also done a bit of testing off stream, and camera's in sync today. Everything's looking normal again. Okay, nice. I did also have a weird transform going on, it turned out, with the camera. So that might have fixed it as well, actually, because I did put that back to what I think is more normal today, but truth be told, I don't know which one is actually normal. But it had some settings that didn't seem normal to me, but I did them based on feedback to get it to look how it was supposed to. So I don't know, somehow we were like scaled down, but then multiplied up, but then transformed, or I don't know, too much going on inside of OBS really, but I'm glad to know that's better. If it does start hitching up on us again, let me know, and I'll just, we'll cut it out again, and I'll tinker with it further later on. Keith has looked through the data sheet also. I think I need to check in the chat. Somebody, right when we were getting started with the meeting, I'm glad I mentioned this, somebody did ping me about this. Did not really have a chance to see it right before started. Okay, I think in case the sensor doesn't have the required conversion time that's not present in the library. 10 milliseconds max, which Jose also took a look in the data sheet and says page table 2. Find that table 2. Figure 2. Table 1, table 2. I'm still interested about the heater also. I still don't know what the heater inside this does. Is it literally just a heater? Like it is exactly what it sounds like? And if so, why would you want a tiny heater on this thing? That seems weird. Maybe it's to like offset the temperature? You want to do that? I don't know. Conversion time. Milliseconds. Okay. I don't know which of these we would be doing, but it looks like there's a conversion time for all of those. There's also a power up time here. From VDD greater than 1.9 volts to ready for a conversion. So that's 18 milliseconds, or a maximum of 25 milliseconds. Full temperature range takes longer by like not quite 4 times. Okay, this one is, I think, particularly relevant to us. After issuing a software reset command, typical time 5 milliseconds, max time 15 milliseconds. Table 2 general, yeah. Okay. So basically what I had found off stream and posted here about on GitHub was that I stuck a sleep. I stuck a sleep after this reset command, and then it started working correctly. I tried several other things, but the thing that I think that turned out to be making it work was add a sleep right after this, which kind of makes sense because it's resetting and then it's going inside this loop, and then, you know, pretty much the very first thing it does inside of here, like there's try, there's create this variable, there's a with block, you know, all of those happen, but like right after that we are writing and then trying to read. We're trying to get the value that we read. We're trying to check the value that we read to see if it matches the magic value it's supposed to be. So this is all happening like right after reset, you know, depending on how fast the computer is, basically, right? And a Raspberry Pi is pretty fast compared to a microcontroller. My hypothesis is that after this reset occurs, the Raspberry Pi is getting all the way to here before the chip is actually ready. Therefore, when we did this operation, we got the wrong value. We got to here, it told us the value is bad. If we just wait a little bit of time after we reset before we try to read, then it seems like we're getting better results, which is, in fact, corroborated by what both of them said and what is in the datasheet here. Now that I was pointed to the exact right space, I can, in fact, see something that is relevant to us, which is going to be this. So let's... So we want to make a PR to basically submit this as a change. To start with, I think... how do we want to do it? I think we will... Let's get back to Heater circuits are common. They help provide calculable bias temperature versus voltage to get an ambient temp. Yeah, that's my best guess, or I should say that's my hypothesis. I don't know. I can't necessarily claim to know the full everything behind it, but that's kind of what it feels like to me. So I want to, on the Pi, start fresh with the currently released version of the library, and then make this one single change only, because like I said, I actually tried some more stuff. So we need to go back and test this by itself, make sure it's still working. If it does still work, then we test it on the microcontroller also. As long as it's still working there too, then I think we're ready to submit it as PR. I think that... Nope. I was gonna say, I think that I have SSH somewhere, but no, that one was, well, I rebooted the Pi, actually, is what happened. So this is SSH. This is logged into the Pi. The Pi here, we are now logged into it with SSH right here. So I actually do have this now, but what I'm gonna do is go move this to edited. Move that there. We're gonna reclone it just so we have a fresh copy. Necessarily need this to be quite so big. So basically, it helps provide a calculable bias temp versus voltage. So it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a calibration thing, basically. Like it allows it to better know if it needs to like adjust up or down based on either the temperature that's around it or like the voltage that it happens to have. So it could make sense if you feed it slightly different voltage, it would like, it affect whatever phenomena it's using to read. You have to adjust maybe for like 3 volts versus 5 volts, or maybe even smaller variations like 3.3 or 3.4 or whatever eventually could affect it. I don't know. I mean, honestly, the fact that they have a temperature that a sensor that is this like microscopic that figures out what the temperature is pretty crazy. Clone that. Let's go into there. Let's go. So the easiest way. No, okay, we're not going to do that. I was going to say the easiest way to test this is to actually copy the example up into the root directory. I'm not going to do it that way, though. We're going to go nano init file. I figured out how to turn line numbers on by default in nano, which is kind of cool. I also figured out nano uses Control S for save, which should not have blown my mind as much as it did, but did blow my mind quite a bit, actually. I've always been doing Control X, and then it asks you if you want to save. I don't know how the tabs work. Okay, yeah, no, I don't think that's a good tab. I think we want spaces. Oops. We're gonna go time.sleep here. 15 milliseconds. So that's a point, is that a 0.015 or is that a 00? 0.15. 5. Heater circuit is the constant. I gotcha. Okay. You can give it self heat and then read it. And it knows if its heater is heating it up to X degrees, whatever, it knows that it's supposed to be that. So if it gets a reading that's different, then it can adjust. Interesting. Okay, so we put that in there. We will need to import. I probably should have done before we scrolled down, but that's fine. Just go in here. I think And Pylint will probably cry if we don't put time above a bunch of stuff. Hopefully here will be good. I think we shouldn't need anything else. So I'm going to do Control S. This thing is like, boom, we wrote 294 lines, which is convenient. We're going to go Control X, which now will just exit with no other prompt because it knows that it was already saved. Which again, should not really blow my mind, but kind of does. So in order to run this, I'm gonna... if we go like this, does it work? This works like this. Basically, we need it to be able to see the library. No. There's no module named Adafruit SI7021, which is, it's right here, obviously. It's just not actually recognizing it. We could install it. Can you soft link folders? Let's use this as a Linux teaching moment. Linux link of folder. Symlink. Maybe that's what I meant, not soft link. Target file. Can it be a directory? ln-s directory symlink name. Yeah, looks like it. So ln-s. I'm going to try like this. So if we went into examples, and then we went ln-s up / Adafruit this file directory with no slash on the end. So take out that slash on the end. Space. The name we want in here, which will be Adafruit SI7021. Cannot access. Specific file directory, symlink name. D? Doesn't have a D. LS? Right, thank you. Eagle eyes, thank you. I totally did not notice that. Okay, so we have now a link inside the examples folder which points to up one to there. So I think that means that we pretend that this thing is actually in this folder that we're in. So if we run it now, it works. Nice. And not only does it know which script we're trying to run and know about the library, it is also working to get data. It's just in a loop, I think, of, I don't know, 2 seconds or something. If I grab it here and touch the sensor, we can drive it to change a bit. Humidity quite a bit as well, interestingly. I'll just stop it and restart it a couple of times, since that sleep inside the init, that's like the thing that we added that we think will have fixed it. It might be kind of nice even to go like temporarily undo that thing and just confirm we're still getting Just comment that right back out real fast. We should get back to the failures. I did have it actually succeed once without the sleep even. I did have some other stuff, so maybe the other stuff I did made a difference. So normally when I was saving, I was going Control X like this, and then it says, do you want to save or not? I would go, yes, I want to save. It would say, what's the file name? Don't want to give it a new one, so I just press enter. It's usually how I saved, but Control S. Way more convenient. Yeah, there we go. So that was the error we're getting. That's pretty consistent. We go back and change it again. We're able to work. Without it, we're not able to work. Save X. Night and day. Pretty clear cut. Okay, and then this is also way like a really small sleep. 15 milliseconds is like not that much time. When I first started testing this, I was actually testing it with a 1/10 of a second, which is still pretty darn fast, obviously, but you know, kind of a long time. If you know, in the case of the microcontroller, especially where it already worked without that, it might be kind of annoying to wait for that extra 1/10 of a second. For 15 milliseconds, though, I think we probably don't bother with trying to split it up so that the microcontroller doesn't do it and the Raspberry Pi does. I mean, frankly, the 15 milliseconds we're following what's here. Arguably, you could say it probably could have had it from the beginning anyway, and probably should have it on the microcontroller, just that the microcontrollers we have maybe are not quite fast enough to do it that fast. How do we want to... I need to like pre-commit it still. Something so simple can make a difference, yeah. Totally agreed. Okay, so first thing... I think... it's going to be a lot more convenient, actually, to have a copy locally on my computer as well to be working from instead of only the Raspberry Pi. So let's actually clone that on my local PC as well. And then we'll make that change there, and that's where we can run pre-commit. We can also use it to load up the microcontroller. One of these days, I'm going to make an actual plan of action for how I want to use the virtual environment versus interpreter. Maybe have, thinking maybe one virtual environment for all CircuitPython libraries. I might try to do it like that. That way I'm not using the base interpreter, but I don't really want one per library. I tend to get a lot of libraries. Don't really want that many virtual environments. Curious where this will put it automatically. Okay, same spot even. Nice. Okay, let's go get remote -v, get remote rename origin Adafruit. Let's get the foamy guy fork. Does it exist already? Yep. Get remote add foamy guy. Get fetch foamy guy. Get checkout -b. Blinka fix. No, let's call it more specific. Sleep after reset. That's what we actually did, right? -b. So then Adafruit main. No track. Whoa. pre-commit. Okay. We'll run it on a device. Where? Oh, there it is. All the way over there. Feather S2 here. Okay. I don't have the camera set up just yet. Well, the camera's on, actually. Maybe it's set up. I don't know. It's more set up than I thought it was. Okay. There's not see though just yet. We want to disconnect this, so this is the Raspberry Pi, unhook power, data round. Actually, just gonna leave this jumper with the headers on and just connect it on the other side. I'm pretty sure these are bi-directional, so I don't think it matters which one plug in. Find out though. Okay. And the there. I think I need to do the disabling of the resetting from the files changing. I need to do that on my timestamper feather. I totally spaced on the timestamper before the meeting. Did not have it, and then I went and got it, but it reset itself within the first minute or two of the meeting, and so then the time was not running anymore. And even if I restarted it, it would be wrong. We did that change on the PyGamer the other day to make it not reset automatically. That would actually be perfect for timestamper. Okay, so currently we're running the released version of the library, which does not have the sleep in it, although it is MPY, so we can't really go look. What we will do is delete that and then look in here, and it should tell us that it fails because it doesn't have the module. So then we are going to copy the modified one right there. Put that back into lib. And there we go. Still working good here as well. Anything else we need to test? I mean, that's really the main thing. Oh, I will say this is a bit awkward though, huh? We did not do this, but it is still working. Interesting. Are they the same on this device? They're modified. It's not that. I2C is on board I2C object, and stemma I2C is also. Okay, yeah, so this device just doesn't have a different one. But it does have the alias. Temperature, humidity, and pressure. There we go, yep. Okay. We ran this, I think, but let's just double check, so we're good there. Doesn't add a new requirement. It is a new import for time, but not a new requirement, because that's obviously built in. Is there anything on that front? Could not affect the docs, I don't think. Okay. Go commit this. Sleep after reset before read register. We will commit to foamy guy. Sleep after reset. Okay, that is created. One thing I'm gonna do in the interest of super duper double triple checking is I am actually gonna check out that branch that we just created and open the PR with on the Pi and run it from there. It should be the same change. I'm 99.99% sure it's the same change. We should not see any different behavior. But just since I edited this in Nano and didn't run pre-commit and didn't do all the rest of that stuff, so just to make sure that we're actually testing the one that ended up in the PR. You know what would be pretty darn convenient? Let's try to get GH on this thing. Of course it... Yeah, I should be able to do that. That'd be convenient to have GH. So actually, technically, both of these are edited now. I'm gonna just move it again. I'll delete these after I'm done. Maybe. We'll see. Doesn't not want to move. Oh, because I did not... edited one. We're gonna clone one more time. GH. I'm gonna go. So many things it scrolled off. You can even see the full list. I forgot, how do you do an exact match? I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's called GH. Anyway, we'll just get it from... Debian RPM? Right. Saw this last time. I don't really want to do all this. I think I came to here. So I don't know. ARM. I actually don't know which one of these would be for Raspberry Pi. Is Raspberry Pi 32-bit? To install. So I actually used this thing. And I just did this, so that says 32-bit. Would it be ARM v6? That's the tricky bit. I don't really know. Apt search exact. Need regex, but I don't know stuff. Up caret $. Not be exact though. Oh. Quad core ARM v8 64-bit. I'm gonna try this. Copy. How do you download a file? Use wget or wget-o. Download it without specifying a name? Kind of annoying. It's not even the full link though. wget-o. File name URL. Did not run it. Trust. I downloaded this into here, which I probably shouldn't have done. Looks like it didn't work, honestly. Does not match system ARM HF. That'd be V6. I gotta try one more. If this doesn't work, I'll give up on this. I guess I could follow the stuff they have there. I don't know. I really want to like add a new repository thing or whatever it's doing though. Like, I guess if it selects the right thing for my platform automatically, that's kind of convenient. Usually when I match the OS, the Pi should be able to tell you if the OS is 34. Maybe you name -A. $86.64. Yeah. Not really sure though. I mean ARM, does that mean ARM 64 or does that mean ARM? That's part of my problem is like I don't really know which one of these. Either 386 maybe? On a Pi. I am on a Pi. This one is the wrong terminal, which I did click into. This terminal here, though, is SSH'd onto a Pi. Oh, maybe I ran uname? Did I run uname in the wrong one? Maybe I ran uname in the wrong one. I think I did. I did. This one... doesn't have any, like, overt failure message. Nice. There we go. Okay, that one worked. ARM v6, it turns out. At least works. Well, installs. Yeah, to where we were in here, ghpr list, auth login. .com, HTTP. Here's actually Linux Raspberry Pi ARM v7L. Okay, would have got us pretty close. V6 versus V7, it seems like is compatible, I guess. Or maybe this tells us 6, I don't know. GHPR list. Okay, GHPR checkout. It was a long way around, but now we have that GH set up, so in the future I can use it to check out PRs and stuff. Isn't x86 64? Yeah, I've never really understood why some of them have both, it seems like. I guess maybe they support both? I don't really know, honestly. There was like a time in my life when I was a little bit more on top of general computer knowledge, but these days, honestly, like, as long as the computer works, I don't really worry much more about the specifics. And so I kind of have fallen out of knowing a lot of that kind of stuff. Okay, we should be on that PR now, which means we should be able to test it. We do still have the same problem where the library is up 1 from the examples. It's technically not actually going to work like 100% as is. We could... Okay, let's go into here. Run this, it should fail. Let's go up 1. Let's go pip install dot slash. Maybe we should have done dot slash. Seems like it's working. Maybe. All right, I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna refill my water. Okay, perfect timing. Oh, come on. So that is now installed, so we should be able to go back inside of here and run it without any other shenanigans. Okay, but it's not connected, which makes total sense because we unplugged it in order to plug it into the microcontroller. I will unplug it from the microcontroller, back into the Raspberry Pi. Ground. Orange to yellow. Decided was clock. Blue to brown. Theta. Nice. Okay. That is the exact version that is in the PR. And of which we should be able to see if it... I see, I also got a review. Do you think adding a comment to explain? Yeah, probably. Can uh, what did they call that in the data sheet? It was like power up time. Well, but it was specifically after issuing reset. Pre-commit. Probably. Okay, I was gonna say it might be mad about this line being too long. We lucked out on that. How's it going, Dave Odessa? Sleep after reset. Push that one there. Hope you're having a nice Monday, my friend. There we go. Okay. That was the main one that I had in mind to work on for sure. I'm gonna look through here for a minute, see if anything catches my eye. Does this kind of stuff, does it show Blinka in here? I don't actually remember. I think maybe not. I'm not sure. Should look for Blinka stuff, because like I have the Pi up and running here. There's a pull request in from a little while back though. Save I2C instance pins, got some action on it already. I wonder if, well, these must, they not, yeah, no, they're not included. It'd be interesting. I wonder if we could have, I wonder if we could make a new tab for Blinka. That'd be kind of cool. Or even if we just added them to this tab, I suppose. It'd be nice to have those listed out somewhere. Like construction option. That's yeah, I was about to say I recognize that name. That's a Clockwork Mod guy, which is a Android. I mean, I think it became a whole alternative OS, but it's like the bootloader, I guess, or whatever. It's like a way for loading alternative OSs also, I think. Like it needs help in I2C display. Weak display IO? Or maybe, I don't know if she means Blinka display? Surely display IO in the core took longer than a week. Okay. I mean, this seems like I2C display inside of Blinka display IO needs help, generally speaking. But that's probably a bigger problem than we're gonna be tackling right now. Been busy today. Good to watch somebody else doing the work. Nice. Documentation type hinting, remove some debugging comments. Hints. Can you loop an int like that? What does it do? No, it's not iterable. I guess it doesn't know until the end. I don't understand all of that, but I'm pretty sure this is a byte array. It mentions byte array here in the old docs, and byte array would make sense for iterating through this, more so than int, I think. I assume that returns int. I don't really know. I don't really know about bitwise stuff too much, truthfully. I'm assuming that's like another one of these somehow, and then if it gets ANDed together with this one, seems like it makes an int. I don't know what a reasonable value for what that might be, but I'm assuming it's something like this. So it looks like that should come back with an int. So return, I think, is good there. There's this runtime error when the sensor could not be found. Plus IO. HC communication rate cannot be higher than 30 kilohertz. Of bus IO I2C, yep. Address int returns none. Return int. Read register. Gas returns float. It does feel kind of odd to me that this one would be float when this one's int, because they both call read register and then a variable and then a number. This is read register, it's a different variable, it's a different number. But presumably this returns the same type as this. And if this returned int and then we times an int by 100, we should still have an int. But I guess maybe this can be different. Calculated total volatile. Gotta print. No return. Is that different than none somehow? Not really familiar with no return. I don't think I've seen that before. Where'd that come from? Is it imported? Piping extensions. Sensor supports modifying I2C address after sending this command. The new address will take effect immediately. New address will remain after powering off the sensor. Oh, interesting. So it has its own memory in there. That's pretty cool. Not a lot of chips do that, I don't think, or not a lot of chips I've messed with at least, where it's you can software rewrite the address. Some of them have jumpers and stuff, solder this or flip the switches or whatever, and you can flip the bits, but this one's like straight up just send it a command. That's really cool. Address int, delay in milliseconds, int, return. That's read reg? Is that what we're calling back here? What's that? Read reg, it is. Looks like it would be an int then. Or if this, like, strangely, if this were, I mean, I feel like it's strange at least, if this were 100.0, there was a 0.0 on this 100, then it would convert to a float. Oh, I can't. Okay, there we go. Is in 0.1 kilometer ohms. It's probably not kilometer ohms. It is not even a real thing. Kilometer ohms. I don't know. Oh, kilo ohms, I guess. 1,000 ohms. It makes a lot more sense. Looks like the Pi sets the I2C bus speed via a baud rate up to 1 megahertz. So that limit is on the sensor side. It's probably on the sensor side. Interesting. Pi sets up the I2C bus speed, a baud rate. Be interesting to try it. I don't think I have this sensor, AGS. Let me merge the back here maybe, and maybe, yeah, here we go. Gonna improve on there. Thanks for checking this out, Keith. I appreciate it. I don't have the hardware to test, but it matches. I don't know if Keith is watching, I guess. References the data sheet given that you tested on both Pi and a Feather. I think it's good to go. Nice. Cool. Thank you to Keith. 417 420. I think probably 41 had commented out. I'm actually curious about this because there's some of these are still open. A couple of these are still open. I would like to go through and close some of them. I wonder though, I've never known if it needed more or what. Maybe I could look back at the I could look back at that one. I could try to ask Eva. Oh. Oh. Weird. I think I have one of these. I think mine has a board? I'm not sure. Definitely have never used it. jumping around here. Let me finish this up and then I'll go release 7021. Runs out of there, I think it's fine. But the beginning of that train of thought was maybe we could run it and see, because like we could just call the function, it will return us something. We can look at what the thing is. Thank you to Jose David. Okay, back to this to release. Also start closing some of these, I guess, since I keep clicking back to them. I don't even have it open anymore. There it is. Or 417 420 does not really add new functionality. It is a bug fix. Changes the functionality on Blinka, but that's because the old functionality didn't work. So this will be, let's say, wait for power up. Power up. Power up? Power up. I don't know. Power up time after reset. Is that too long? 417, wait for power up time. Well, we don't, that's the title though. We don't want all of that in the tag, obviously. We don't want the tag to just be this. I do like to put the tag in the title though. Wait for power up time after reset. Man, I'm glad I didn't put that in the tag. Yeah. 417. 417 is definitely higher than 416. Good. And this was already linked, so it closed. Yes. This thing? Color sensor. We can push this along. This is from 2 weeks ago. Tector commented last week. We could wait for OP, but I mean, like, it's a really small change. We could also commit as long as it will let us. Probably this one, I guess. Feels better than disabling the pilot. I mean, honestly, they feel the same to me. One of them doesn't really feel better than the other, but it is certainly less in the spirit of pilot to disable the checks. But in a situation like this, like, apparently we also like have a need for the code to be this way. Adding a pointless other variable to it seems just like a different way of writing a disable statement to me, right? Like, feels still fundamentally like we're disabling it, but instead of disabling it, we're making it slightly happier by making a pointless thing. Probably will not have the repo, so we're gonna need that on the Pi. So this is going to be easiest if we also have this remote. Is Gary K10 get remote -v get remote rename origin Adafruit get remto get remote remto. We got the remto again. Get remote add Gary K10 get fetch GHPR list GH repo set default Adafruit GHPR checkout 34 all is it trying to return tuple ints They definitely would want to test this on a device. I mean, I assumed Gary is using a device. When not changing between low and high, the channel numbered data was not being updated. Also, the clear and NIR data is available when low channels configured, so no need to change to high. High channel configured, low channel configured. Change to high. Is that a change they made? They took out these configures. does return none. Yeah, I think this is the one they took out. Enable SPE in bit while making config changes. Not changing between low and high. The channel number data was being updated. Channel clear. Channel NIR. How's it going over there on Twitch? Let's see here. Apologies if I mispronounce your name, but I'm going to say Kevikende? Kevikende? Thanks for watching along. I think, I don't know, truthfully, this is way over my head as far as like the specifics of why it would need this change. It's definitely the kind of thing we would want to test on device before merging. We can, I mean, it makes total sense. These used to not return, I mean, it used to return none, and now it has all channels, which definitely is wanting to return the tuples. So I guess that we catch it with the underscores like Tektric said. Or do the pilot disable. How's it going, Axel? Oops. A holdover from when OS was first transitioned to 64 bits. Oh, the 8664 thing, I think, from before, when they transitioned to 64, but they still had to maintain compatibility with 86 instruction set. Okay. So that one supports both then, kind of. Let's make sure our lines are right here. 439. Make sure I actually change the same things. Yeah, 445. 468, 492. Yeah, okay. I mean, we shouldn't just commit it. Let's do pre-commit. Here it passes. Perfect. Say catch return from, was it all channels? Okay. Gary K patch 1, which should be what is this set to? Yep, on the PR. Show the new commit there, and theoretically, hopefully, it will pass CI. Okay, I will be back in a minute. Okay. Let's see. Probably wrap it up before too much longer. Let's see if there's any other easy ones we could long any. Set gas heater. Oh, I was already here. Not sure how to do this. Okay. Probably can't really move this along by myself. I think on this we need somebody to weigh in on the licenses if we want to. We're okay having code with this license in the repo. Then we just need to modify the PR branch to put the license in the right spot inside of the folder that reuse is looking for. And change the header to be compliant with reuse. And then the version we can just put back. They said they don't know how, but it should just be. It's still like that. It should just be a matter of changing it, making a new commit. Yeah, we can just. I could make a new commit that would change that back. So the license is the main thing to figure out. We need to ask about that. I do have, I think, a BME 680, although it's an old one. It doesn't have stemma. I don't know if that would matter. We could potentially test it. I haven't messed with Ducky before. Interesting. Try that out. It's also one we can't really do right away right here. BMC 2101. That's a fan thing. Fan driver. Like, so that's typing, but not full typing. Get functions. Go check status. Overriding property getter setters not supported. Original person has not come back to test yet. Change the name for each class initialization due to MRO. Been using LUT class. Going to main init initialized was calling LUT initialization, not 101. I guess this is why they were using superposition initialization line. Plus the issue in the line below was changed to true. Change a property in the parent class get X to avoid conflicts. Test with 3 examples. Be aware that I cannot test outside temperature. I don't know how to wire it. Test with the fan, mock-up temperature for the results. Yeah, I will echo that. I don't know how to do the temperature stuff. I have one of these things, and I have a fan that I can hook up with it and test, but the fan doesn't have a temperature feedback. It's only output. It doesn't have a... doesn't tell you its temperature, it doesn't take readings, or doesn't give you its readings if it's taken them. I should try to find a new fan. That's kind of what this one needs, basically. With WSGI. Okay. How's it going, Funday 2? Nice to see you, my friend. What color? I saw this the other day. Liz was working on it. Okay, Video's gonna grab it. Interesting. There is like a larger potential takeaway for this one would be e-ink inside Blinka Display IO, which doesn't have much support yet. But that's probably a pretty big task. I don't know that I would be fully up to it. It's closed. Start a new fork. Oh, okay. Nice. It's been a lot of work in HTTP server library last couple of days. Be a good thing to test. Next time I sit down, a header description. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this module only exists on, I mean, by default in the released versions of CircuitPython, it's only enabled on one device, that device. You can enable it on others, I think, if you make a build, but it's not by default, and you have to go make that build, I'm pretty sure. I think we did test that on one, but I don't remember which one. I think it was ultimately this. No. This is a different thing. Yeah, let's try to confirm that real fast. Doesn't it show built-in modules? There's that. Probably somewhere else on this page too, I'm guessing, but Actually, only there. 2 versions. So then that's like NRF device. Let's just check like others. Empty. Feather TFT. It never comes up right. It's not it's exact, I guess. Yeah, empty. Let's look at a sense, feather sense. This because that's also what? That's also the same main chip. No. Okay. Yeah, I think that's only turned on the one build. Just goes to a frame buffer that only exists in the UF2 within the board. It's an RTD, but nowhere in the library. I gotcha. Hey, if you're still around here, Feta too, I listened to your I listened to that video you posted. That thing was pretty neat with the ball with the different knobs. I love the way the knobs light up as well. The little LEDs that you've got to shine on those things. That thing is really cool. For sure. Thanks for showing the link to that. This was, for folks that don't know what I'm talking about, this was a thing linked earlier on today during the meeting over in the CircuitPython dev channel. You can find that if you scroll up a little bit in there, I'm sure. Okay, we'll merge this, we'll make a release. I think I'm going to call it after that and head out. Some more running around to do for the evening, and then I'll try to probably work on the dashboard a bit later on, but I don't know exactly what time, and I probably won't turn the stream back on. I'll show you real fast, actually. I'll give you a super quick sneak peek of the dashboard after this, and then I'll probably head out. I did do a tiny bit off stream, not a whole lot, but I got some data, and I have a chart on a mostly blank page that might work. I had to fix it a few times, so we'll see if it still works today. 140, so that's going to be 141. 1.41. Yeah, there's that link. 1.41. This would be what would this be? It would be adding a, let's see, adding a compatibility, so like compatibility warning in example. So the comments are using silicone as fiber to pass the light from the back of the wood. Interesting. Yeah, thank you for linking that. This thing is super cool. The wood is the fruit of a Kara tree. As soon as I have the comic in English, I'll reshare it here. Nice. Sounds like a kind of mechanical thing in my yard, but it's not quite. Nice. This is the comic, I assume you mean. Got cool looking artwork. Nice. Okay, real quick, I'll show you the latest of the dashboard. There's not too much to see, but it's a little bit more than the last thing I had on stream, so. Yeah, see, I have a bunch of uncommitted stuff also. I have one new page, which is basically a mostly blank page, but with a chart on it with the data that did actually originally come from the sensor. Right now, it's actually a copy of the database that's on my PC, so it's not currently feeding live data. I also turned it off on the Pi since I was unplugging the sensor. Although, now we could actually put it back to the SI7021 and turn it back on. I don't know, I do not remember what the URL I put was. Other dash. There we go. We have blank page, but we do have a chart, and it has, in blue, it has the temperature readings that came from the sensor, the most recent 10, I think. And in green, it has the humidity percentage that it got from the sensor. So it's basically showing 10 minutes worth of data. Also ignore the text down here is all wrong, but it's basically showing 10 minutes worth of data of both temperature and percentage, and it would be showing the most recent 10 minutes, but technically it's all actually old since it's not collecting anymore. But it's coming along nicely. I think we'll add a couple of other different charts, and I also want to add some of these things like this so that it can have like at a glance values at the top for the most recent readings, and maybe like a high-low or something like that. Let me catch up here. Never heard of that fruit before. Neat. Yeah. New wild fruits. Let's see. This are the normal stemma seesaw rotaries from Adafruit, which have the NeoPixel on them. Nice. Yeah, I love those little stemma rotaries. I use those on the on a Etch-a-Sketch little device I made, and those things are super convenient way to connect rotary encoders to the stemma cables there. And Shikara makes you synthesize. Someone has drink horchata. The original drink is made from the seeds of the fruit as well. Okay, yeah, I have had horchata. There's a coffee shop around me that has a horchata latte. It's actually really good. It's got coffee mixed in, so it's not just a regular horchata, but it's like the cinnamon and the cream stuff from horchata with latte. It's really good. The sacred fruit for the Mayans and other cultures. Oh wow. Popol Vuh. Comic is a short story from it. Nice. Had rum chata. Horchata with rum in it, yep. Really delicious. Yeah. It's like a cinnamony. It's like a creamy cinnamon drink. It's really tasty. Sounds like a delicious thing. I'll have to make one myself. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one place that has that. There's one place around me that has that. It's like the only place I've ever seen it offered. And yeah, it's really tasty. It's what I get pretty much every time I'm there now, because that's what, since it's the only place you can get it, we don't go there super often, so it's like always what I'm craving from there. But that's what we've got so far, not a whole lot, but we are starting to plot data, and it's actual data from the real sensor, which I wanted to show just because at the end of the last stream when I was working on it, I was not actually, we got almost to the finish line, but couldn't quite make it all the way there. My automated thing was not collecting data, but now it is. Although I think I'm also going to go back and probably change the way the automation works anyway. I think we're going to provide HTTP endpoints to post data into the server, and then the script that is running with cron or however it runs, it will just make posts using the request library. That way it completely kind of decouples the reading of the sensors from the server. Changes it to where you just post that data in, it doesn't matter where it came from. But that's the most functional looking fruit I've ever seen. They come up with one of these tree synthesizers. Totally have 10 growing in my yard. Nice. Okay, I'm going to head out for now. Thanks for hanging out, folks. It was a pleasure to see all of you. Thanks for the links and all the cool stuff and the help. Earlier, DJ Devin saving my butt on that ln versus ls command. He totally you got me pushed past that error. Definitely appreciate that. I will be back certainly on Friday for the deep dive, possibly before then. We'll see. I got some more stuff I want to work on in this thing, so I'll probably try to pop the stream back on if I'm feeling like it when I do. I don't know when that will be. So maybe I'll pop on sometime before Friday, and you can always follow me over on Twitch if you want to get the heads up if and when that does happen. Otherwise, I will say goodbye for now. I hope everyone has a good rest of your Monday, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Whoops, that's the wrong OBS.